All right? Okay. Hare Krishna, devotees. Welcome to our 42nd, am I right? 42nd evening program on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And we are right at the end of the 7th chapter. We have about another, I don't know, maybe 20 or so verses, something like that to go, maybe a few more. Yes, and then we will have finished the 7th chapter, and we will have finished the first part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So let us begin by chanting some prayers. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyachadeshtarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchkalpatarubhyas cha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrita ki jai, Srila Sanatana Goswami ki jai. All right, so let's see where we are, devotees. We are at about, we are at about verse 131. Right, so let us read. Well, what we're going into now is that Narada Muni, Krishna is going to offer Narada Muni benedictions because Krishna feels that ultimately by reminding him, reminding Lord Krishna of the gopis' absolute love for him, that Narada Muni has done Krishna a great favor. So therefore Lord Krishna is feeling very pleased and grateful towards Narada Muni, and therefore he wants to offer him a benediction. So let us read. So today you have favored me greatly, and therefore I am delighted with you. Please choose whatever benedictions you would like. So that's the point. Krishna feels so pleased with Narada for reminding him like that. Sri Parikshit said, the sage began singing Krishna's glories, playing on his veena and shouting, Jai, Jai. He praised Lord Krishna, the giver of benedictions, with songs filled with names arising from his pastimes in Vraja. So, Narada praised Krishna, the giver of benedictions. In other words, he praised him as the giver of benedictions because he has some ideas what benedictions he might like. Yeah. So first he sang then to please Krishna, so that Krishna would be willing to fulfill those very special desires, or the very special benedictions he wanted. And he most pleasing to Krishna was when Narada, as the verse says, Narada sang songs filled with names arising from his pastimes in Vraja, like Gokula Mahotsava. That's a good name, isn't it? When we give initiation sometime, we must call someone Gokula Mahotsava. Yashoda Nanda Nanda Kumar, Gopa Gopi Janapriya, Gopi Gana Manohar, and Putana Mochana. Wow. Okay. 133 to 134. From Dashashvamedha Tirtha in Prayag to Dwaraka, Narada had wandered, and he had spoken with devotees. The Brahman at Prayag and all the others who, by the Lord's divine grace, had each achieved perfection. Feeling great pleasure, Narada, the king of sages, now wanted to hear of this perfection directly from Lord Krishna's own mouth. Dear Mother, Lord Krishna is the all-attractive lion among generous benefactors. Now, therefore, Narada begged from him the first blessing he wished to receive. Yes. So, Narada already knew a lot about Krishna's mercy because he'd met so many devotees, and all on the basis that they'd received great mercy. So he knows a lot about the Lord's mercy, but he wants to hear about the Lord's mercy from the Lord. Yeah. Yes. So this is, the whole thing's very fascinating. From the wealthy Brahmin in Prayag, through the king in South India, then off into the demigods, and so on and so on and so on. Indra, Brahma, Shiva, Prahlad, Hanuman, and Uddhava. There's been a lot of talk about mercy, but it's all different types of interactions between the Lord and his devotees. Not just interactions, but reciprocations between the Lord and his devotees. So, Narada found each story interesting. Each one was very interesting. Beginning with the Brahmin, then the king in South India, and then the demigods and Indra. It's all very interesting. Mercy in different ways, in this way, in that way, in so many different ways, different forms of mercy. Yeah. So, here he goes. So all those people, they achieved great perfection by one cause, Krishna's mercy, but in different ways. So now he wants to hear from Krishna directly about how the Lord distributes his mercy. Narada said, Sri Krishna Chandra, please grant that no one will ever feel he has enough of your mercy, your devotional service, or pure love for you, the reservoir of ecstasy. That's the first benediction. Wow, what a benediction. And he's not just asking for himself, please give me this or that, but please grant that no one will ever feel they have enough of your mercy or your service or love for you. So, in other words, Narada wants to be assured by Krishna that no matter how much of Krishna's mercy a devotee receives, the devotee will never feel that's enough. The devotee will always feel inspired to get more mercy. Yeah. So, Narada mentions 3 stages: mercy, devotional service, pure love. Yes. So, 136. Lord Krishna replies. The Supreme Lord said, O preceptor of all clever scholars, what kind of benediction is this? My mercy, my devotional service, and ecstatic love for me all have this nature that should be simply obvious. Lord Krishna is feeling, well, everybody knows this. It's just so completely clear. It's so completely clear. So, why are you asking me about it? In other words, Narada, it appears Narada has a hidden motive because he knows all these things. He knows all these things. So much he knows about these things. He has a motive. He wants to hear Krishna himself explain the glories of prema bhakti. So Krishna speaks. O sage, each of the devotees you saw and heard about in your wanderings here and there, from Prayag Tirtha to Dwaraka, is perfect in all respects. Wow. Each of them can deliver the entire world, and each has truly received my mercy. There exist between them only degrees of perfection, as in the idea of perfect, more perfect, even more perfect, even more than more perfect, and ultimately most perfect. But then it may even become more than most perfect. Yes, so like this, it's an interesting point. Even though Radharani is the top, but there are many others who are perfect, just not as perfect as her, but completely perfect. And there's no question of anything being wrong at all like that. And indeed, the second part, which we're going to, of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which will start what is it? Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Monday. Just have to see when we get to Durban, after a long drive and sorting everything out. It may possibly just be on Monday, but you will be informed. Okay, 139. Yet none of these devotees is ever satiated. Satiated means that they've got enough, they don't need more. Please therefore ask from me some other more satisfying benedictions. Yeah. So, other than the bridge buses, no one's closer to Krishna than the residents of Dwaraka, of course. The Yadus and the Pandavas also, similar sort of situation. Krishna lives with them and their families, and it's just such absorption in Krishna consciousness in the presence of the Lord. But still they feel dissatisfied, thinking themselves unworthy, not thinking that Krishna has not given them enough, but feeling unworthy. Yeah. So they're dissatisfied, thinking themselves unworthy, lacking in pure devotion and surrender. This is just a peculiar, very unusual, but very important part of prema bhakti. Sri Parikshit said, Narada danced in sheer joy, and like a mendicant asking alms, he begged from Krishna two excellent boons. Speaking to the Lord, the crest jewel of charitable persons, this is what Narada said. Wow, okay. So, Narada is going to beg two more boons. And this is what they are. Like a beggar folding his hands in supplication and holding out his cloth to ask charity from a rich man, Narada praised Krishna so that Krishna would be inclined to grant his request, or requests, plural. So here we are, verse 141. Sri Narada said, O Lord, never satisfied with your own charity, I have now achieved my goal. My labors have borne fruit, for I now understand in a practical way who the objects of your greatest mercy are. And who is that? It's the gopis of Vrindavan. Yeah. He's understood in a practical way. Verse 142. This, well, okay, so anyway, he begged boons, but one of them is already there, in that, one of them's already been given, in that he's understood in a practical way who are the objects of Krishna's greatest mercy, which that was the whole point, wasn't it, of the whole 7 chapters. Who has received the greatest mercy? So this is the only benediction I need obtain, and for me it's the greatest mercy. But still, O King, among those who give charity, I have one long-cherished desire. So the Lord's in the mood of giving benedictions, it seems. Yeah. So Narada's feeling, oh, okay then. Yeah, let me ask for more. Because you, Krishna, you're the king among those who give charity. So now this is a long-cherished desire. O swan, this is Narada now. He's going to express this special desire for a benediction. The special benediction he wants. O swan, gliding in the lakes of the Vrajavasi's love, I wish that I may wander everywhere, always chanting, drinking the nectar of your names. Those most sweet names arise from the ocean of Gokula and spread the glories of your infinitely varied dress and ways of acting. As I wander, behaving like a madman, may I distribute joy to everyone in all the worlds. So that's really amazing. And that's what Narada Muni does. Narada Muni appears in Bhagavatam in numerous places, and everywhere he's chanting and distributing the nectar of Krishna consciousness all over. So, here's more then. Whether by speaking, thinking, hearing, or physical contact, if any person in this world comes in touch even once with these pastimes of yours and is convinced of their importance, may he be endowed eternally with the power to worship your feet in pure love, feet resplendent with the saffron dust from the pitcher-like breasts of the blessed gopis. Wow, that is just... If any person in this world comes in touch even once with these pastimes of yours, how many of the Lord's pastimes have we come in touch with? Many, many, many. And is convinced of their importance. Well, I think that's there also, but that is deeper than just coming in touch, to become convinced of their importance. Then may that devotee eternally have the mercy and the ability to worship your lotus feet in pure love. Oh yes. So let's see, 145. Sri Parikshit said, Lord Gopinath then extended his divine lotus hand and with great respect for Narada blissfully said, so be it. Let me just see what's the Sanskrit. Evamastu. 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 There you have it. Let it be. Well, astu is let it be. But evamastu, let it be so. Let it be. So be it. Yeah. So the Lord then extended his right hand and with great respect for Narada said, Evam astu, so be it. Krishna extended his right hand because that's the hand normally used for offering benedictions. So this is, Krishna is making it very clear that yes, you've got it. I'm giving it to you. Yes. When Krishna enjoys his pastimes as Gopinath, the lover of the gopis, he reveals the most confidential desires of his heart. And in the same mood as Gopinath, he has happily accepted Narada's 2 requests. 146, the sage was suddenly plunged into a vast ocean of supreme bliss. He sang and danced in various ways, thus delighting Lord Krishna. And, to delight Lord Krishna, to please Krishna, that's good. But to delight Lord Krishna, so the Lord just feels in ecstasy because of you. Sure, that's another thing. Yeah. Okay, 147. Narada then partook of excellent food and drink with the 2 lords, as Devaki and Rohini supervised and Rukmini served. Yeah, so the 2 lords, Krishna and Balaram, they invited Narada to sit down and have prasadam with them. So Narada got excellent sweet rice and other delicious dishes we cannot imagine, and various refreshing drinks. And since Rukmini was the first of Krishna's queens, she claimed the right to serve the meal. Oh, that's amazing. She didn't claim the right to sit down with them and eat the meal, but she claimed the right to serve the meal. She went around to each of the 3 people eating and repeatedly offered a small portion of whatever they wanted. This is how to serve. We've seen devotees people serve in all sorts of ways, splodging it all over your hand, giving you too much, trying to give you as little as possible. But Rukmini was very sensitively distributing prasadam. So now the scene shifts. Narada is going to return to Prayag, where he came from. Uddhava suggested to Narada what was best to eat. Satyabhama fanned him, and the other queens pleased him with various kinds of service. So Uddhava was going around saying, oh, you haven't tried this. Oh, this is very nice. Yes, you should take some more of this. Like that. This preparation is your favorite. Yes. So the weather was quite hot. So Satyabhama personally fanned Krishna, Balarama, and Narada. And the other queens, they were helping out in different ways, pouring cool water, praising the food, doing some more fanning, burning incense, aguru, and just such nice things. 149. After the sage finished eating and washed his mouth, Lord Krishna worshipped him, anointing him with fragrant oils and adorning him with flower garlands and varied ornaments. Okay. Lord Krishna worshipped Narada. Gosh. So verse 150. Narada then took leave of Madhava, Lord Krishna, and went to Prayag thinking, let me bestow perfection on the sages who have waited so long for me to return. Oh, yes. So, well, this is in keeping with the benedictions, that he'll be able to go around and just give nectar, and in this way just revolutionize the lives of everyone. Yeah. Thus Narada started on his journey to Prayag, intoxicated with eagerness for pure devotion. Wherever he passed, he vibrated his veena and blissfully sang the glories of the Krishna bhakti he had seen with his own eyes. 152. When the sages at Prayag heard the whole wonderful account from the mouth of Narada, they once and for all gave up all interest in everything other than Krishna's service, for they were able to grasp the essence of what is value. Yes, so, once and for all they gave up interest in other things, means whatever traces of attachment to karma, jnana, material work, knowledge, whatever little traces were there in their hearts were immediately cleansed away when they heard Narada's explanation of what had happened and what the result was. So, yeah, they were qualified to understand these things. 153. Entering a mood of great and single-minded humility, they began worshipping the lotus feet of Sriman Madan Gopal according to Narada's instructions. Right, yeah. Yes, well, entering a mood of great and single-minded humility. So they, by the mercy of Narada, by his potency in his descriptions and explanations to them, they now obtained that dainya, that humility, total humility, which is required for entrance into the mysteries of prema bhakti. By honestly thinking themselves unworthy of worshipping the personality of Godhead's lotus feet, they earned the priceless treasure of his favor. 154, 155. This is now Maharaj Parikshit. Dear mother, you as well should always worship this young cowherd boy. He is the ocean that yields the nectar of the rasa dance, in which divine gopis fully surround him, entranced by pure love. You should cherish the desire to be a servant of these gopis. You should constantly worship him in pure love as they did. And you should dedicate yourself to the Sankirtan of his names. So this is a summary. The story's finished, basically. And so Parikshit Maharaj is summing up the lessons that should be learnt for his mother Uttara. Yes. So after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj Parikshit understood everything, and to make his mother also understand it, he spoke this first part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So, 156, I cannot describe with my own words even one of the glories of the gopis, any more than a mosquito can swallow Mount Meru. And if you are not sure, Mount Meru is very big, much bigger than Mount Everest. Oh, but my spiritual master is fully absorbed in the loving moods of serving Krishna. He can constantly glorify Krishna's names and those of Rukmini and Krishna's other beloved devotees. The gopis were consumed by the expansive flames of the wondrous blazing fire of love for Krishna. If my guru chants the names of these gopis and recalls a gopi's distinguishing qualities, he too is touched by sparks shooting forth from the flames of this intense fire, and he at once becomes greatly agitated. Therefore, he has to avoid pronouncing the gopis' names. So this is Maharaj Parikshit. His guru is Shukadev Goswami. And this is a point. It's not really discussed a lot, but it's mentioned, and here it's stated. Shukadev Goswami is such a devotee that if he would hear the names of the gopis or descriptions of the gopis, even just the names, what to speak of their qualities, their pastimes, and these deeper aspects, just their names, he would become so overwhelmed that he would become speechless. And he would not have been able to present the whole Srimad Bhagavatam if he had mentioned anything in any detail at all about the gopis. Therefore, he didn't even speak their names directly. Yeah. 159. If you follow my advice and with pure love take shelter of the gopis and their master, Lord Sri Krishna, then, O Mother, I promise that by Krishna's mercy you'll be able to understand something of the gopis' greatness. Wow. And 160, this is the last verse of this chapter, the last verse of the first part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. With the help of this most excellent narration about the Supreme Lord, which shows who has received the essence of the Lord's mercy, one can understand him for certain. Anyone who, for any reason, takes shelter with faith of this narration will quickly attain love for Lord Sri Krishna. So there you go, devotees. There you go. We have concluded the first part of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. By the mercy of Srila Sanatana Goswami, by the mercy of Narada Muni, and of course by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for coming on this journey with me. What a journey. What a journey. And probably on Monday, we will start the next part of the journey, the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita ki, Srila Sanatana Goswami ki, Go Premanande, Haribol.